This tutorial is for 4th grade, Module 1, Lesson 11, and in this lesson we're going to add greater numbers using the standard algorithm. And that means we're going to start in our ones column and add our ones to our ones, and then move on to our tens column, add tens to tens, hundreds to hundreds, and thousands to thousands. So if I start in my ones column, I have 4 and 3. 4 plus 3 is 7. If I have one 10 and I add it to 9 tens, that gives me 10 tens. Well, I can only put down one digit in my tens place. So I'm going to put down the 10 groups of 10 by showing a 1 in the hundreds place and a 0 in the tens place. You'll notice that I'm actually putting that 1 at the bottom of the column. In the past, you may have been used to seeing it at the top of the column. Well, research has shown if we do that sort of carrying at the bottom of the column, the students still see this then as 10 groups of 10, and then they don't forget to add it in when they're adding their hundreds column. So there's my 10 groups of 10. Now when I add the hundreds column, I add 3 plus 4, which is 7, plus 1 more, which is 8. And then 6 plus 2 is also 8, so my final answer is 8,807. Let's move to the next problem. Again, I have 4 plus 3, which is 7. 110 plus 910 would be 10 tens. So again, I'll put the 1 here and the 0 below. 3 plus 4 plus 1 is 8. And 8 plus 2 is 10. That answer is 10,807. And the last problem, I have 8 plus 3, which is 11. Again, I'm going to write a group of 10 and a 1. You can see the 11 here. The 1 group of 10 and the 1 gives me 11. Now I'll add 7 plus 6, which is 13, plus 1 more, which is 14. And I'll show that 1 down below again. 3 plus 4 is 7, plus 1 more is 8. 2 plus 5 is 7, and 1 plus nothing is 1. So that answer is 17,841. The next problem is a word problem, and we're to draw a tape diagram to model the problem. The problem says in September, Liberty Elementary School collected 2,537 cans for a fundraiser. In October, they collected 7,492 cans. How many cans were collected during September and October? The first thing I'm going to do is write an answer statement with a blank where the answer goes to help me focus on the final step in my problem. So we want to know how many cans were collected during September and October. I'll start my answer as in September and October blank cans were collected. Now we're going to draw a tape. I'm going to draw one tape showing all of the cans. And let's put those cans in the tape. So we have 2,537 in September and 7,492 in October. Since we have less in September, I'm going to make that portion of the tape smaller. And we'll write that in the tape. We have 2,537, and that's September. And then we have 7,492 in October. And the question is, how many cans were collected in all? This is just one example of how you could set up a tape diagram to model this problem. Some students might choose a different strategy, but the key is, do their tapes make sense, and is the question mark in the correct place? Now, to find the answer or to figure out what the total is, I need to add these two numbers. I'm going to use the standard algorithm to do that. So we have 2,537, and to that we'll add 7,492. Well, 7 and 2 is 9. 3 tens and 9 tens would be 12 tens. And I'll show that with my 1 in the hundreds place and my 2 in the tens place. Now I'll add my hundreds. 5 and 4 is 9, plus 1 more is 10. And again, I'll put the 1 in the thousands place and the 0 down below. 2 and 7 is 9, plus 1 more is 10. That means in September and October, 10,029 cans were collected. This question says on Saturday night, 23,748 people attended the concert. On Sunday, 7,570 more people attended the concert than on Saturday. How many people attended the concert on Sunday? So we have two different days here, and we have two different amounts. I'm going to first write a statement for my answer, and it's asking how many people attended the concert on Sunday. So I'll say on Sunday, blank people attended the concert. Now to draw my tape diagram, I'm not going to draw a single tape because this is kind of like a comparison problem, meaning we don't know how many people attended on Sunday. We do know that it was 7,570 more people than on Saturday. So here's how we'll set up the tape. We'll first show Saturday's amount, and I'll draw a tape for that, and I'll show that amount. So that was 23,748. Now on Sunday, we had the same amount of people as on Saturday, except then we had 7,570 more people. So Sunday's tape is going to be greater, and the portion that's greater than Saturday is the 7,570. There's the section that shows how many more people attended than Saturday. But we also know that this section here was the same as Saturday. So if they had the same amount of people on both days, the tapes would be the same size. But since Sunday had 7,570 more people than Saturday, we have to add that on to Saturday's amount. The final question was, how many people attended on Sunday? So we'll put our question mark for that tape. We need to know the total on that tape. Well, all I have to do is add these two numbers, and I'll do that using the standard algorithm. We have 23,748 and 7,570. We'll add those two numbers. 8 plus 0 is 8. 4 tens plus 7 tens is 11 tens. 7 and 5, that would be 1,200. One more would be 1,300. 3 and 7 would be 10, and one more would be 11. And then 2 and 1 is 3. So in all, on Sunday, 31,318 people attended the concert. And again, the key here is first writing your answer statement. That kept us focused on what we were trying to answer at the end of the problem, and then making sure our question mark is put on the tape diagram to match that question.